Hey guys, CR Classics here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm with two 1979 Esprit S2s. They were twins when they came out of the factory, and I'm going to let Mark, the owner of this wonderful car, talk him round the car and tell you all the different things that he's done to it and all the amazing things that he's done to it, and use mine as a sort of reference as you've seen it before. But both of these cars have been in a magazine, in the Absolute Lotus magazine. And they're just such an interesting duo, and I thought you'd like to see them. So I'm going to hand over to Mark now, who will talk you around this car.
So that's me, I'm Mark, and this is my Esprit. Now I would say initially that it is a restored and modified Esprit, and there's quite a lot of modifications that we've done to it. But aesthetically, what you'll notice is things like the wing mirrors are body coloured on mine. That's not standard. And you can see on Callum's they are the original black. Ironically, my sills are black, which was done on the Series 2 Esprit. And on Callum's they're body coloured, which is non-standard. So that's there's a bit of a flip there. Otherwise, overall, you can probably spot the wheels as the main thing. Now, but things you won't notice so readily. DRLs on the front, daytime running lights, bank LEDs on the front and rear light clusters, and sealed unit P&M LED headlights. They're twin on the Esprit under the pop-up lamps. So much brighter. And I've also at the rear got a high rear brake light in the rear windscreen. So visibility is much improved, and also being visible, I think, is key. Just around the side, you'll see that the Esprit did not come with side repeaters. So I have a side repeater fitted here, and there's a little bit of badging. There's a Union flag here, and a little bit of badging on the side, which again is non-standard. I've got a flat blade windscreen wiper, which I think is a 24-inch blade. The front windscreen is a special build windscreen, and it's got a sun visor piece in it, which wasn't standard. Coming down the side, what you'll notice, of course, as I say, are the wheels. These are 17-inch split rim billet aluminium, bespoke made but non-standard wheels. They're designed to mimic the wolf race wheels of the S1 Esprit, but they are not. These are 17-inch. They're wider, both at the front and the rear, which gives me much better mechanical grip. At the front, as you can see, they are convex, and at the rear they're dished, they're concave, which again was really designed to mirror the original wolf race look. Also, I've got you can't get these anymore. At the front, I've got a brake dust cover, which helps to protect this quite soft billet aluminium from hot brake dust and keep them looking super nice. They're both exactly the same size. They're both 17-inch. And as you can see on Callum's, with the Speedline wheels, which are 14-inch, these are obviously quite a little bit bigger. Does give them a different look, and the aesthetics of it, I think, really is up to individual taste. But I did it principally for the mechanical grip that an improved size gives me, and I can fit my choice of tyre. And on these, they're Continentals. And that gives me, again, a better rubber compound to put on the road. You'll also notice I've got S3 lockable fuel filler caps, which means I can leave the car overnight kind of thing. Also at the front, at the rear, and at the side here on the side air ducts, I've got powder coated grills, essentially, which were really just for aesthetics, which is quite nice. And the rear screen has an invisible element in it, so it can't be seen. The original, obviously, much more visible. And as I say, at the rear, I've got banked LED lights. I've got reversing sensors and a parking camera. And I think that's really all I've got on the outside. So what you'll probably be able to see now from the rear, apart from the LEDs which you can't see, I've actually put these strips on, and there is a reason for that. And that is because attaching the LED banks to these lenses, I had to attach them to the actual plastic lens. So that actually hides where those studs are. You can also see two rear parking sensors, and just in this badge here, which is again non-standard, is where the parking camera is, which hooks into an Apple CarPlay double DIN head unit, which is inside the car. So in the engine bay then, obviously I've got an engine. What I decided to do was change the colour scheme in here. Back in the 70s, an engine bay wouldn't have been a place people would have been particularly interested in. And as you can see from Callum's, it's black carpet and it's got a black engine cover. And that's because people weren't interested. And actually, it would have had a tonneau cover as well, which would have gone over to hide whatever you're putting in the boot. I wanted to make it a bit more of a feature, so I body coloured the engine cover, and then I put wheat carpets in. It's not great for keeping, clean, but I really like the look, and it makes it a lot lighter. People like looking in the back of mid-engine sports cars to see things, and so whilst the engine isn't the prettiest in the world, it does give me that. There's a plaque on the top here, which is to Tomorrow's Classics in Berkeley in Gloucester. They did all this work. The engine, which I'll come on to, is a Lotus Bits rebuild, but all of the work on the car was done by Tomorrow's Classics. So I really wanted to pay homage to the fact that they did this work, and that's why there's a really nice stainless steel plaque there. I mentioned earlier the high rear brake light. You can see that's mounted here. So the engine. It's the original 907 2-litre unit, which we took out, gave to Lotus Bits, and they brought it out to 2.2 litres. They fuel injected it and then popped it back in. So it's now, the original engine would have been producing 160 brake, which is what Callum will have in his. Mine is producing 225 brake at 7,000 RPM, which is where I've limited it because I now have an ECU, so I can manage that. And it's putting out about 180 pound-foot of torque. The original Esprit was putting out about 140. So for a normally aspirated engine that was sort of 60s tech put into a 70s car, to be able to get 225 out of a 2.2 litre engine is not bad. Clearly, there's a lot of upgrades as well. Most notably, of course, is that there's no carbs. The engine is not clean, but it is really reliable. It's a great engine. It sounds fantastic. And I just, love it a bit. I do have a slight oil leak in the gearbox, but we're going to be looking at that quite soon. One thing I didn't mention, just on the underside, is of course I've had all the suspension replaced with Protec dampeners. We've looked at the springs and we've reduced those slightly in order to reduce the ride height. So all of when the car was restored, of course, the body of these just pops off, 4 pins. The whole thing pops off. So we took the backbone chassis and we stripped it back and galvanised that and put it all back together. And when we put it back together, I've got Wildwood brakes on the front. They're distal round, of course. I've got Protec suspension system, braided hoses, everything we could upgrade. Stainless steel pipe for the cooling system. I've got a alloy front radiator. We've put aircon into the car, so it's got a condenser for that. Where we could upgrade, we did on all of the, as well as the aesthetic differences. There's a huge amount of work that's gone in mechanically to make the car work better on modern roads in modern setups and make it more reliable, and use modern systems now that would not have been available in the late 70s. Had they been, Lotus might have fitted them. Okay, so that's the engine and that's the rear. So what you'll notice from this angle is, first of all, I've got a stainless steel exhaust. It's got a single pipe, and that was because the guys at Lotus that built it said that it would give better flow through one pipe rather than two. Naturally, we thought we were going to get a double pipe out the back, as you can see on the original with Callum's. But really, from this angle, what you can see is the difference between the wheels. I've got a 17 inch, as I say, 225 rear. Obviously, all the mechanical grip for a a mid-engined rear-wheel drive car is coming through these rear wheels. So you can see now, I think, the difference between the original 14s and the 17-inch 225s that I've put on here. So let's have a look inside. So the interior, which broadly is standard, apart from the fact that what would originally have been marcasite is now chocolate brown Alcantara. It's all been refurbished, so the original champagne leather seats have all been reupholstered, but the colour scheme is as it would have originally been. There's a lot of changes in here. So The binnacle is completely bespoke with electronic clocks to go with the fact that I've got a much more an ECU based engine. I've got a bespoke switchgear in here. I've got the controls for the air conditioning, which the car didn't have as standard. I've got a JPS Momo steering wheel, which wouldn't have come with the original Series 2. I've got a central ashtray, which again is a homage to the Series 1 style, although this is not a Series 1 ashtray because they're even rarer than the Ferrari 275 ashtray that I was able to source to go in there. You'll notice also the gear stick. Not only is the gear knob donated from a Type 121 Lotus Europa, which I previously owned, but also it's got a shorter throw. We actually found that when we took the gear selector out, you can adjust the length of the gear stick. There are 2 notches, so we with a pin, and we simply reduce the length of it. So we've moved the fulcrum point, and so we've got a much shorter throw on the gear stick, which makes it a much more enjoyable experience. Behind there, of course, is the double DIN head unit, which I mentioned earlier, and on that is Apple CarPlay. The phone connects here in the ashtray, and so I've got navigation, music, radio, etc. And I've got the reversing camera plumbed into that as well. Up top, where there would have been originally a video digital clock, which weren't the very best, I've made a bespoke digital clock with a gold fascia to go there. And behind that is a milled aluminium bespoke rear, well, it's not bespoke, but a rear view mirror and a dash cam to go with that. You'll also notice that the air vents, the round air vents, they're non-standard, and I've moved them to the sides where I can direct that air towards the the windows. And also I've got Lotus badging on the glove box. The sills have got kick plates, with Tomorrow's Classics written on them. The mirror, the window operating switches are again bespoke, and I've got upgraded speakers for the stereo.
Okay, guys, so that's Mark just walking you around his car. I hope you enjoyed that. Big thanks to him for coming out here and taking the time out of his day to do that for you. I'm sure we'll be filming together, maybe out on the road at some point soon, or maybe next year at some point, because I'd love to get them both out together. We've done it before, but that was for the photo shoot, so to get some actual film of them would be really, really good. So let us know if you'd like to see that. Any questions you have, please comment on the video, and I'll ask Mark, or if they're about my car, just fire away. But yeah, big thanks to Mark, and please like, subscribe, and comment, all of that good stuff, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. CR Classics, out.